Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'll be covering the Phantom, the latest generation of mousepad from Tekkusai. This pad is marketed as the Beast 2.0, coming with more speed, more texture, and unreal stopping power when pressing down. It almost resembles that of a cloth pad. We will be diving into the Phantom and what it brings to the table for glass enthusiasts. Breaking more into the price of the Phantom, it comes in at $119. Pre-orders opened already in June 27th. They have now closed. Some retailers do still have it in stock, including Max Gaming and Potent Gaming. There are some others as well. It ships late July, meaning most consumers haven't received it yet. This is a review unit sent out to me by Tekkusai, but all opinions are my own. Now I want to break into the speed and texture of this mousepad. This mousepad is going to be more textured than most you're going to experience with glass. Wallhack is obviously going to be way smoother than this. Wallhack I would call more slippery than anything in comparison. The Beast, it's a little bit more rough, a little bit faster. It's just a better upgrade of the Beast, but with a few other little knickknacks involved. I'll break into comparisons in here in a little bit, but I just kind of want to give you guys an idea. When it comes to the rougher texture, I don't think it should put you off. I think it's a benefit. When kind of moving around with the friction of this mousepad, you're able to feel your movements a lot better than something like the Hana, where you have that like wind pushing against your hand effect rather than actually feeling it into the mousepad. So I don't think it's something that should put you off, especially with like the more stopping power and pressing down. It's supposed to be almost cloth-like. You really do feel that like extra texture and like more stopping power when you press down. It really does give you that effect, and it makes it a way more enjoyable experience. With palm users, I feel like I don't get to use the pressing ability as much just because I don't put as much pressure on my mouse. But for claw and maybe even fingertip, I can definitely see the stopping power having a way bigger impact on them. I just don't get it as much with palm because I don't press down hard. I normally just kind of move my mouse around. I don't have any issues with that. But when I do end up using it and pressing down when I'm like in an intense situation, I really do feel it, and I do think that it does have a good benefit to this mousepad and something that really makes it shine. When it comes to speed, this thing, like I said, is faster than most mousepads. It's going to beat out the Beast. I'll throw a few comparisons here next up, but I just kind of want to give you guys a base idea. I did want to cover the base a little bit as well. I apologize for the wet spots. I was trying to clean it a little bit, but it's not the easiest to clean a rubber base. So basically, this is probably one of my favorite bases. It's probably the best that Tekkusai's released as well. It's a rubber base. It's going to stick to your desk more than any other. I want to give you guys a little example here as well. Next thing I want to break into is the sizing. It is 500 horizontal by 450 vertical millimeters. It comes at a 2.5 thickness with a very edgeless design. This is probably one of my favorite edge, like on a mousepad. It feels really good. There's also a little feature that comes with the mousepads. There's a 1 in 10 chance to get a laminated collector's card. I don't have one with me, of course, but I'll put it on the screen here. Breaking into gaming and performance, honestly, this mousepad, since I've gotten it, I've had it for 2 or 3 weeks now. I haven't swapped off besides maybe to mess around with the Hana, because that is probably my favorite glass mousepad when it comes to control. And I play a lot of TAC FPS shooters, which obviously you would think control would be great for that, which it is. But when it comes to the Phantom, I was actually able to perform with the speed of this mousepad on TAC FPS like CS. CS is the main game I play. I play a lot of like Premiere, and I play a lot of just deathmatch. I like shooting heads. It's just the thing I do. But it's been a lot of fun with this mousepad because I feel like I'm able to hit really crazy flicks. And I don't feel like I'm overshooting with this mousepad because of the texture. I feel like I'm able to really press into it and actually get a good feel when I need to stop. And honestly, I feel like I could highly recommend this even for TAC FPS. People who don't have experience with glass, I think you're going to struggle with this at first when it comes to TAC FPS, just because it's so fast. When you come to tracking games, it's obviously going to be probably the best of the best, in my opinion. I mean, look at it. I mean, you're gonna track people.
Can't use that.
But let's get into comparisons now, and I'll give you guys my input. The first mousepad I wanted to compare is the Wallhack SP04, and then obviously the Phantom here as well. When it comes to the Wallhack, it's a bit more smooth, it's a bit more slippery in my eyes, it's a bit slower, This would kind of be your more middle range balance mouse pad, whereas obviously Phantom's more speed, but this is the most common mouse pad when it comes to, well, glass mouse pads. So I do want to bring it out. You don't have that pushing ability as much, even really at all, with the Wallhack pad in comparison. Obviously this is gonna be more textured, more speed oriented, whereas this more balanced, but I mean, it is more focused on speed, but it feels slow in comparison to this in my eyes. But that's my first comparison. I do think for the price point, I would easily choose the Phantom, but to each their own. Now, obviously we have the Beast versus the Beast 2.0 or the Phantom. Obviously this is probably the one you guys were more excited to hear about, as it's known as the successor of the Beast. So when it comes to texture, I do feel that the Phantom is a bit more textured. I would say maybe 5 to 10%. When it comes to speed, probably around the same. I feel like it's a little bit faster. I mean, it's not like substantial. It's not gonna be like a million times faster, but I do feel there is quite a big difference when it comes to gaming. You really do feel that extra speed. Obviously the Beast has some stopping power when it comes to pressing down, but you don't feel it as much as you do on the Phantom. So I do think it edges out there. If you were to own a Beast and you think you're debating whether to upgrade to Phantom, I think it is a worthy upgrade just based off the few things. The edges, the texture I like more. I feel like the Beast, it was there, but not all the way there. And I think the Phantom kind of brings it to that edge where it's actually enjoyable to use really textured pads. And obviously it's a little faster as well. So if you like that, I do think it's worth the upgrade for the Phantom, but to each their own. I do think it is better. I did also want to cover the Entity. Obviously it's not really a commercially available pad. It was more of a group buy, invite, or like you get invited by friends or invite only. There's only 200 of these. Obviously it's a bit rare, and honestly I did want to give a comparison because some people were asking about it. So the Phantom is, or sorry, the Entity is completely like noticeably smoother. But I feel like with the smoothness you lose a lot of that ability to have stopping power and feel that friction. It just kind of makes it where it's not as an enjoyable experience for flicking. For tracking it's fine, but I feel like for that stopping power you just lose a lot of it with the Entity due to its smoothness. Edges, obviously the Entity, there was a few things that were lowered so people could afford the price, so you don't have that crazy edge that the Phantom has either, and I think the base is a lot better on the Phantom as well. But besides that, I mean, the Entity is a great pad for what it was, which is speed, but I think the Phantom is just better in regards to how it's done. I think the texture actually brings more to it, and I think the speed also brings more to it. So that's my input on the three pads. I think that the Phantom does perform better in the goals that it was required. Like, I think Phantom does the job of having speed, having texture, and having stopping power. I think it does superb in those areas. Obviously with some things, like it's not going to have the smoothness that some people may enjoy, or it's not going to have the control some people may enjoy. It's kind of your own opinion on what type of glass mousepad you want to go towards, but if I'm going speed, I'm going to pick this mousepad any day. I do want to say one issue I have, which is the edge. It can get scraped easily, so you have to be careful when it comes to if you end up picking it up and hitting it on something. Like my one side of my edge is completely like a lot rougher than the rest just because I hit it on something and it scraped it up really bad. Besides that, I really haven't had any downsides to this mousepad. I feel like I can flick well with it. I feel like I can track well with it. I feel like I can just use it for everyday use as well. The texture doesn't bother me and the speed doesn't bother me. I feel like everything about it has just worked great for me. I mean, people can have different experiences. They may think it's too fast or that the texture is too much, but honestly, my experience has been great so far. Obviously, I haven't only had it for a few weeks, but I honestly think this is probably going to be in my main rotation of glass pads for the next foreseeable future. Probably this, Hannah, and maybe another mouse pad. I'm not really sure what my three would be, but this one definitely is going in that top three. Obviously this is going to be on the faster side, the more textured side, so some people may not like that. You may not like a really fast mouse pad. You may not like something that's really textured. You may like the smoothness. Some people do. Like, I love the Hannah and the smoothness, but the texture on this really didn't throw me off. The main thing I didn't like with the Beast was the texture. It threw me off completely, but I feel like I can actually use the texture on this mouse pad to its advantage way more than the Beast, and it makes it actually a pleasant experience. With that being said, I think this mousepad I could recommend to anyone who's a glass enthusiast or even someone that wants to get into it. It's obviously a more steep price point in comparison to something like the Singularity, which is an entry-level glass pad, but I really do think that this has potential to be one of the best mousepads in the market for the foreseeable future. And that's kind of my thoughts on it. I appreciate you guys listening and I hope you have a great rest of your day.